So here we want to take a look at the merge tool. So merge, generally speaking, is a tool that should occur to you when you would have, for example, a couple of different like polygon or line files or things that are separate, but you would like to put them into the same singular shapefile. So in the case that you have in front of you here, we would say, let's take a look at our grassland area, right, or our chemical spill examples, and say we want to make these one file, to some degree one file. I'll show you what I mean in detail by that in a second. But what this is useful for is, let's say you have a map of some study area like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, or something. You have your states, and you had some states around it that are shapefiles as well, like Virginia, Kentucky, or Tennessee or something, and you wanted to put them all into one particular shapefile. Okay, merge will work for a process like that. And I personally have done that plenty of times where I needed to basically drop everything into one shapefile. All right, and merge is the tool that we would want to have occur to you. So just like before, we could check out analysis and our toolboxes. And let me go through finding it for you. So we've got analysis, all right, and within analysis we've got listed a bunch of tools, but ArcGIS is funny in the sense that it will list tools a bit counterintuitively. So you're going to see a clip that has been covered in videos, erase, union we'll talk about in a minute. But under data management, okay, we've got general, and under general we have merge. All right. Again, I want to caution everybody: be careful with this quick reference list to summarize data, overlay, features, intersect, union, and I would suggest finding tools via Arc Toolbox. Alternatively, you could always just let me close out your processing, and we'll just go back to it and say, if you don't want to find it in the thing, you could always just type merge and find tools, and it'll bring it right up here. So anyway, let's give it a shot. So input data sets now, it shows one entry here, but merge is designed to be able to accept plenty of files. All right, so we want to include, let's say, buffer, and I'm in the table of contents, buffer, grassland, and chemical spill, for example, and we can click and drag them over and it'll drop all of them in. So what it's going to do again is put them all into one file. One of the things about that, when things are put into one file, is you're going to end up with a attribute table that may have conflicts or fields that you want to drop and things along those lines. So if you want to manage the output shapefiles attribute table, we can do that with this output fields button here. All right, so if we wanted to go ahead and take chemical parts per million and we don't want that, we could remove it, cost, etc. We can drop these things. Okay, there are plenty of options, adding sources and properties and things we don't need to go into. Like I said, the main key here is I'd like everything to be in one file. So when we're happy with that, we'll go ahead and again make sure it's going to S and go ahead and hit run and see what our file looks like. So we've got this merge buffer over here. The key to taking a look at what actually happened is we have these three inputs. Okay, so our buffer, our grassland, and our chemical spill area, all in one file. Again, the key to realize is they all have maintained their shapes. Okay, if we wanted to then from this drop it into like a singular file where, for example, these borders here would be removed, and everything would be basically melted, all right, together into one file. We would use one extra step, such as the dissolve tool. All right, but merge would get you to having them into one file, and then we could go ahead and dissolve it, which we will talk about in a separate video. Long and the short of it, that's merge. Oh, let me mention within the attribute table, you'll notice that our buffer file had columns for chemical parts per million and costs and etc. These were actually picked up. The data set information was picked up when we were messing around with all points in a previous file. But it's a good example here of because our let's see here, grassland and our chemical spill don't actually have that data. ArcGIS added nulls to say, hey, these columns exist, but they don't have any information as far as chemical spill and grassland areas are concerned. All right, that's it for merge.